Hi there, guys. Sorry I'm slightly late. I have been dashing back from Pilates, so I'm here now. So I hope you're very well. Okay, so the Gabriel Method. Please ignore Elvis the Lovebird. He'll probably start squawking when he doesn't squawk any other time, I promise. Okay, so we've got the Gabriel Method. If ever I promote a book, that's the book I do promote, the Gabriel Method. So a little bit of background about John Gabriel was a man who was 423 pounds. He has lost all the weight and looks like an Adonis with no excess skin. Elvis agrees. It's wonderful. It's unbelievable. People go, how can he do this? The longer I am in this game, the more I realize that this is a psychological journey more than a physical journey. I can give you all the diet plans in the world, and I can give you all the fitness plans, and whether you want a six-pack or just to lose a couple of pounds, to tone up or lose 10 stone, it starts in the head. And if it's in the head, it's in the body. And your body only understands how to do one thing, and that's survive. It doesn't understand anything else. So it doesn't understand cars, central heating. All it knows is that you've gone from A to B in 10 seconds when it should have taken an hour. And it understands, 1 minute it was cold and the next minute it was hot. So there's quite a lot of modern things now that confuse the body, even though we're living in this crazy technological world and I'm here speaking to you online. Our bodies are still really in the caveman days. So we are just little cavemen and little cavewomen. And the body is built to just keep going as long as you possibly can. So that is the aim of the game. So John Gabriel had tried every diet under the sun. He'd even studied with Dr. Atkins, and he'd paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to study with the top people to get him where he wanted to be, and it didn't work. And in fact, Dr. Atkins shouted at him. He says in his book, he shouted at him, said he wasn't trying hard enough. For many of you, you will know me. If we are not getting somewhere, I will look at the body physically. I'll do diet analysis. I'll do that. But I'll also be looking at you here as well. He began to realize that his body wanted to be fat. And just like some people are perpetually thin, he realizes now that some people, their bodies want to be thin, and some people, their bodies want to be fat. So he asked the question, why? Why did their body want to be fat or thin? Thanks, Elvis. It kind of blew his mind a little bit. He sat by the side of the motorway in America and just wondered, I can't believe this. My body wants to be fat, Now, the body only knows how to do one thing, and that's survive. So when your body suddenly puts weight on, and you're fighting and fighting and fighting to lose weight, and you might lose a few pounds, but then it pops straight back up to that set point again, and you get frustrated and downhearted and everything. The body is trying to protect itself. It's saying, no, it's not safe. It's not safe out there. We need to protect ourselves. And so he began to realize that in his life, there was a lot of stress. He had a high-stress job. He had a work partner that was not physically aggressive, but quite volatile, aggressive kind of person. And he began to realize that when he got bigger than him, he stopped being so volatile and aggressive towards him. So it is really, it's an interesting concept. But he told the story about his beautiful cat that he had, and the cat would lay out on the lawn sunbathing, the big fat cat, and there used to be the dog, the next door neighbour's dog, going crazy on the inside of the window, barking and jumping around. And one day the neighbour got sick of it, so he let the dog out, and the cat flew off, and the dog flew off after the cat. And a few days later, the cat limped back, and John Gabriel nursed his cat back to, health again. But what he realised was it didn't matter how much food he gave that cat. After that, the cat lost weight, and he even took him to the vet to see what was wrong with him. And in fact, he still, lost weight no matter how much he fed him. And he began to realise that the cat's body was saying, I need to be thinner and fitter in order to be able to run away from this dog if this happens again. So the metabolic rate had raised, and he was in flight mode. And the fight mode is where you stay put, you put the weight on. So when the body deems something as unsafe, it doesn't know the difference between physical, mental, or emotional. It's all stress to the body. And what the body fears the most is lack of food. So it thinks it's in famine mode because it feels the stress hormones, it feels that. And so it starts piling the pounds on and staying fat for survival, So the Gabriel method goes through emotional stress, physical stress, and mental stress, how this affects the body. He talks about switching your fat switches off, and for thin people, switching your fat switches on. You can then play about with yourself, psychologically, physically, emotionally, in order to get the body that you desire. And it's really approaching it from a psychological viewpoint. It's fascinating. I've seen this happen. I've seen this work. Sometimes people even look thinner without even losing a pound. I've seen the evidence of this over and over again. And even though I was on heavy medications for my bowel condition, at the time that all that was happening, Duffy was in the hospital, he was ill, I was ill, and things were very stressful, and financially I was worried about things and everything. And I really just don't think it's a mistake that the weight went on at that time of severe stress and worry and anxiety. The body went, pile it on, something's going on out there, keep us safe. That is our job, So if you're struggling to lose weight, or you're wanting to lose a lot of weight, I want you to ask yourself, why does my body want to be fat? Why does it? And you've got to think of it, if your body was a friend, that its whole job was just to keep you going, the whole focus was just to keep you going and to keep you safe, what is your body trying to keep you safe from? That's a big question, So please, you can get the John Gabriel Method very cheaply as a book on Kindle or from Amazon. It's a great read. A lot he talks about, and I believe this too, of being calorie dense and nutritionally starved. So these days we can take in a lot of calories, but nutritionally it's terrible, like we're nutritionally starving. Scurvy is back, rickets is back. We shouldn't have these diseases. We've got fruit and veg and everything. We shouldn't have any of these diseases, but they're making a comeback because we're being nutritionally starved. So he recommends at least having to start off with, if you're struggling with your diet and everything, to start off with having at least one really, really nutritious meal, something so nutritious you'd fall over yourself, colourful like a rainbow, full of great proteins and fats and amazing carbs. You see, I'm talking food and Elvis agrees. And when you give your body those nutrients, it will stop asking for the junk. So how your body works is it will say, I'm hungry, feed me, I need some nutrients, feed me. And so you have a pizza, and it goes, yeah, that's great, I've got a little bit there and I've got a lot of calories, but I was really looking for some vitamin C, feed me again. So you have some crisps maybe, or some nuts, or drink of wine. Yeah, well, like I got a little bit from that, and I got some more calories, but I still don't have that vitamin C, feed me again, right? Whatever the body is wanting, if it's not getting it, it'll keep asking for food. It'll keep asking for food. So if you give your body the nutrients you will find that the good will then outweigh the bad, and you'll start wanting more and more good stuff, and your body will just stop craving the bad stuff. And this has happened for me as well, and I've had massive success with that personally. Psychologically and emotionally, when we are unsettled, anxious, emotional, upset, the body feels unsettled. The body goes, oh, what's going on? I don't quite like that. And the easiest way to settle the body, if you're feeling like that, is to eat. The easiest way is to eat. And many people do. And it will settle you for a short time until those emotions come back again. So A, you have to acknowledge those emotions. B, you have to acknowledge your lifestyle. You know, if you've had a rough day, you've got to say, I've had a rough day. You know, if there's something that's niggling you that you've been suppressing for a lot of years, you're going to have to address it, you know. But emotional and psychological hunger comes on very quickly, comes on super quick. Yeah, it'll hit you, the cravings, you'll want to eat, and it'll be sudden and quick. Real hunger comes on gradually in stages. It'll come on much slower. So when you get hit by emotional and psychological hunger, you have to ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? What am I not happy about? Colette Baron Reid, who's got a book called Weight Loss for People Who Feel Too Much, another favourite of mine. When people suck in other people's energy, you're working all day, you're highly empathetic, you take on other people's issues, you're the go-to person for problems. But what usually happens is these people motor along quite happily until about 4 o'clock, and then they want to eat the house. And it's because the body just becomes overwhelmed by all the emotion and all the stress that the person's taking on, and it has to settle itself. So it goes, feed me, feed me, feed me. I need to be settled down, you know. So there's other ways of grounding yourself. Exercise, very easy way of grounding yourself. Getting outside, very easy way of grounding yourself. Breathing, very easy way of grounding yourself. Walking barefoot, very easy way of grounding yourself. There's loads of things you can do without eating to ground yourself, but eating is the easiest way. The body knows, so it will ask for that. When the body is unsettled as well, it will require water to settle itself down. But again, people often give it food instead of water. They get that confused, you know, between the water and the food. They get that confused. So always try and drink some water first, just to make sure that that's not what the body is asking for. So the reason why John Gabriel thinks he's lost all that weight without any excess skin is because he's been feeding his skin nutrients. So people that go on, you know, gastric bypass, the band, these shake diets, things where they just pop pills to lose weight, and they lose weight quite quickly, they end up with a lot of excess skin. And he reckons that's because the body isn't getting the nutrients it needs, and so it can lose the weight, but it hasn't got enough nutrients for the skin, for the elasticity of the skin. It just can't do it. So he reckons because he filled his body with nutrients, and he really went for that with the nutrients, and we're talking food nutrients more than supplements and things, we're talking good honest food, he reckons that's why his skin has gone back. But if he was the only person this had happened to, I could understand it. But actually, he has got many clients that have lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and they have no excess skin. So feed your body those nutrients, and watch the body change. Watch the body ask for something else. Elvis has been very naughty tonight. I do apologise. So the John Gabriel method, he went through quite a journey. The other thing is, when you approach your diet and exercise, not just physically, but psychologically and emotionally, he reckons that people lose weight very fast when they begin a diet, and then it slows down. But when you approach it from the brain out, you might start off quite slowly, but then it speeds up. And he actually claims to have lost his final 20 pounds in just a couple of weeks. So he says it came off quite slowly and steady to begin with, but it sped up as he became psychologically and emotionally more settled. And also he just gave his body what he wanted, which was lots of nice nutrients and gorgeousness. So if you do fancy reading the John Gabriel Method, please do. It's not expensive, but it's really worth a read. And when you read the book, you will recognize yourself in some of the chapters. Some of the stories are quite extreme, I think, but you will still recognize certain things. I've had clients say to me that they cried at certain pages when they recognized themselves in the book. But before I met John Gabriel, I believed all this stuff. I think that the body needs, we're like plants, we need air, we need sunshine, we need water, and we need food. You know, we need these things for our body. We need nutrients. For us humans, we need to move. We're not meant to sit down doing nothing. We're meant to move, and the body will get stressed. So if you're a person that's got a job where you sit down a lot, then getting up and getting out, oh, the body will thank you for it. It really will. So if there's two books I recommend mostly, it's the John Gabriel Method, and then also it's Colette Baron Reid, Weight Loss for People Who Feel Too Much. It's on the same lines. And the other one I like, which if you YouTube her, she's very amusing, is Jenna LaFlemme, who is pleasurableweightloss.com. Now, I love Jenna LaFlemme because she's very sexual and gorgeous, and she speaks to you on YouTube as if she just loves you all the time, and she's very amusing, but she's a very sexual woman. But she believes in pleasurable weight loss. Our psychology is associated weight loss with deprivation and misery and terrible food and blah and all that business. And she reckons that you've just got to enjoy your food and give your taste buds and your body the most fantastic food and just really enjoy it, and the weight will fall off and you will love your food, you know. So she says, if you're going to have that chocolate, have the best chocolate in the whole world. And I believe this. You know, how many times people have said, oh, I really want a Ferrero Rocher. I really want one of those, but I can't have one of those because I'm on a diet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a whole packet of rich tea instead. And they eat everything else to avoid the Ferrero Rocher. In fact, they've taken in more calories. They should have just had the chocolate in the first place. So if you're going to have a glass of wine, make sure it's the finest glass of wine you've ever had. If you're going to have the chocolate, make sure it is the best chocolate. Don't settle for mediocre. The body will not be satisfied by that. Also, what I often hear, especially with my detox plan, a detox is supposed to rest the body, energize the body, and fill the body up with nutrients. That is the true definition of a detox. But because there's all these crazy lunatic detoxes out there, what I often hear when people come to my detox is, oh, I can do this. This isn't so bad. Actually, I really like the food that's in here. This is going to be quite easy. And they're surprised. And they go, well, it's not really a detox, is it? It so is, you know. My detox will fill you with nutrients. I'm asking you to rest the body at certain times. I'm asking you, you know, to rest the digestive system at certain times. And by the end of the week, I want you feeling $1 million. I can't even tell you, Transformers, how many of the Transformers go back again and again and again to that detox week. And it's not just because they've come back from a holiday. And it's not just because they've come off the wagon. It's because it makes them feel good, and the body goes, yeah, do that again. That's good. I like that. Do it again, you know. So this is what it's all about. So I want you this week to be asking yourself some questions. I want you to be asking yourself, why does my body want to be this way? And acknowledge when you're emotional. We're so good. It's a British thing, I think, that people try to suppress their emotions, you know, the stiff upper lip and all that business. But this is what I see in clients. I see people who have got angry about something 10 years previously, and they've been suppressing that emotion on that Monday morning when they got upset. They've been suppressing that for 10 years and they're 20 stones 10 years later. Yeah. So if you've gradually put weight on again and again and again, you've got to ask yourself, why have I put the weight on? What is my body trying to protect me from? Do I feel unsettled, anxious, upset on a regular basis? What do I do to settle myself? Do you eat? You know, am I giving my body enough nutrients, or am I starving nutritionally? Am I moving my body? If you were a good friend, would you just slap a pot noodle into them? You wouldn't. You'd be giving them the best tea of their life, you know. Also, I have met quite a few clients who feed their animals. I'm one of them. Oscar and Elvis have the best diet ever. Yeah. They feed their animals fantastically and then they don't feed themselves well. I've seen mommies feed the kids they would never think about giving a Lucozade or a 10 pots of coffee or a million sweeties to their gorgeous child. But they'll do it to themselves, you know. So we all deserve health. We all deserve that. We're not living in a world of lack, but the body only knows how to survive. When you're anxious, it thinks, oh, something terrible is going out there. We best pack on the pounds and help, you know, stay fat for safety. For those people that are wanting to put weight on, that's the flight mode where they go, we best stay thin just in case we need to run away. There's obviously something very, you know, terrible out there. So depression often brings weight, you know, depression often brings weight when the body feels unsafe. Anxiousness can often make people lose weight, you know, but you've got to see how you uniquely respond to those unsettling moments. And you can't just go through life like that, but you can change the way you deal with things, and that might change your health. It might change your physique. You might have a six-pack in no time, you know. When I was training to be a nutritionist, I was living with my friend Louise, and I used to use her as a body to do diet analysis when I was studying. And I used to say, tell me what you've eaten today, Louise, and I'll analyse it. You know, I used to do all that. And she was very slim. She still is very slim. And she used to tell me, well, I'd fry up then at work, and then I had this, and I had some avocado and salad, then and some nuts, and then she'd go, oh, I think that's it. And then she'd go, oh, and a bag of crisps. And we'd be sat watching TV, and then she'd go, oh, and a bun. But what it was is she ate what she wanted, when she wanted, and she responded to her real hunger, and she stopped when she was full. She never ate emotionally. She never limited herself on anything. But when she wanted a fresh green salad, she'd have one. And when she wanted a bun, she'd have one. But she has a very healthy attitude towards food. And I used to be really fascinated by this. Thin people do not think about food all the time. Thin people do not worry about putting weight on or losing it. It doesn't enter into the equation. The only thing they do differently is listen to their bodies. That's the only thing they do differently. They listen and they give their bodies exactly what it needs. So if you want to look up the Gabriel Method by John Gabriel, please do. Colette Baron Reid, Weight Loss for People Who Feel Too Much. The other one I like is Pam Grout, Boosting Your Metabolism with Breathing. And also Jenna LaFlemme, YouTube extraordinaire lady, Pleasurable Weight Loss. So it's all good. So you can check those out if you want. But this week, I want you to fill your body up with nutrients. I want you to listen to your emotions and your psychology, and acknowledge that sometimes when you want to eat, it might be because you're unsettled rather than actually hungry. Hunger comes on gradually. Emotional and psychological hunger will come on very quickly. It's a band-aid for emotions. So I just thought I'd put that out there because I share a lot of the John Gabriel Method on my fitness page and the Collect Bar and Read stuff. I've not shared Jenna LaFlemme actually, but you've got to YouTube her. She is amusing to watch, but you know, she'll eat chocolate in front of her and it's like she's having an orgasm. It's crazy. But check those out, but have a think about your own response to food. It's usually got nothing to do with the taste, because when you are suppressing, thanks Elvis, when you are suppressing emotions, you won't even taste that food. It'll go down and it'll be gone like that. Whereas if you're really tasting it and enjoying the food and really savouring it, then you're enjoying your food, and that's allowed. That's perfect. I did a conference one time and someone put up their hand and said, what should I do if I'm hungry? And I get that question a lot. I've had it at least 3 times today. What do I do if I'm hungry? Eat. That's what you do. If you're genuinely hungry, eat. But if that hunger comes on very quickly, you know that's not hunger. That's emotion or psychology. So if you've got any questions on this, or you want to spark a discussion when I post it on the Facebook group, please do. It's a very, very interesting topic. So even though we're dealing with you physically, I think it's mind, body and soul. I think it's the whole package. I really do. We're not meant to be different. We're meant to be, you know, no, we're not meant to be the same. We're meant to be different. And I just think that we can have the health and the physique that we truly want. We've just got to work towards it, but it's finding the most effective route. And for some of you, this will be the most effective route. So I'll speak to you soon. I'm here. I will be texting and ringing and contacting you all. So I hope you're well, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, bye.